talking to Lou recently, I reached out to him and I was like, man, I've been meaning to ask you about Nick and seeing what he been up to. I know you be staying low, staying out the way and all that, man. I'm glad to see you doing well, man. How you been feeling?
I'm good. I'm good, man. It's funny because it depends on who you ask. They be like, I'm either outside too much or I'm inside too much. So it just depends on what mood I'm in. But no, I've been good. I'm in a interesting point I'm at of my life right now where things could be shooken up again as far as like how it felt like similar times when I was like about to leave Cincinnati and also about to leave Atlanta. I may be leaving the area that I'm at now, so it's just kind of like I'm in an interesting groove as far as figuring out what's next.
We definitely gonna talk about that, man. Lou, how you feeling, brother? Spike Lou, the legend.
What's good, my brothers? I'm feeling cool. I'm good. I'm good. Can't complain
Um,
about nothing. We've been away for a minute. Happy to be back. Happy to have Nick on. Got an announcement next week that I'm happy about, so I'm good.
I got a question for you. I was thinking about
Let's hear
this
it.
because I have the. I'm sure Nick could say a lot of people we talk to you on a regular. We have the benefit of kind of knowing what's going on, or sometimes knowing the inside track of what's going on in life.
hmm
So I know we alluded to it. You had a couple things you were working out in life, and I was wondering to myself, how do you decide what you're going to share with people and what you're not going to share with people? Like from a podcasting standpoint, right? Like you ever do
Mm,
you ever put thought into like, hey, because this is the platform for where you could have come on and
hmm
discussed that, and people probably could have got something from it. But I 100% would have been like you and said, nah, like that's too much. Like people don't need to. I
hmm
don't, it's too personal. Do you have a line of where you say, I'm gonna be quiet on that one. I'm just gonna keep that one to myself versus, or do you ever think like maybe I'll talk about this in the future once it's resolved? How do you go about that? I was always curious about it.
I go by the guideline of one. Nobody can be affected by it. Like I don't want to tell no story about somebody
Yeah.
and they feel a type of way or whatever it may be. So that's the first thing as far as having personal conversations. I keep those off for the most part, unless I'm really vague in what I'm saying what I say. And then from a personal standpoint of just my stuff is probably just when I get ready to talk about it. I think when it comes
Mm.
to being able to have platforms like this where I can speak freely and it is a place where we open up more so than we do on any other of the platforms that we own. It's usually just a time thing because I feel like I've been very open about real personal shit on here, but it's just a matter of time before you realize that you can talk about it. For me,
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes complete sense in it.
yeah.
What y'all up to this week, man? What's been going on this past week? What y'all get done? What y'all
Wait,
do? Nick, what was
Nick,
you
that's
up
a good
to?
question for you too though.
Well, it's funny, Lou, when you was answering, I was like, as much as I know Lou, there's also a lot of stuff that I know he don't share, and I'm in a similar boat with that because a lot of people who I've known for years, you know, most of those people will say like they know me, but they don't know like if they went on like a trivia game or some shit and people were asking like certain questions, they're probably like, I don't even think I've ever heard this nigga speak on that or even mention that.
hmm
And that made me reflect a lot on like how much I do hold back with certain information. Cause some shit is just kind of like I don't want to jinx anything if it's, like something that I'm really anticipating or I'm really like looking forward to doing, and it's something that's out of my control. But then it's also like once I have done the thing or whatever, it's kind of like I'm ready to move on anyway. So me talking about old shit, I'm like I ain't even trying to think about that no more.
Mm.
Cause like obviously there's certain situations that Lou don't even know this because it's a situation that's always funny. But it's a certain situation where I was going through some shit and Lou didn't even ask nothing. He just sent me a text with some information, and he don't know that like that's all that I like. Like I took advantage of that because I was like, if Lou is sending me this information, I need to I need to really sit down with myself and think things over and really evaluate what I'm doing and how I'm moving. So like he actually helped me in a way that was very personal, but very it's kind of like passing of the torch kind of thing where it's just like you ain't even got to say nothing, you just know what it is and you do what you with it what you want. But lately I have been trying to be more present. That's the thing I've been really trying to do, be more present with the people in my life and let them know how I like they impact me, how I just feel about them in general. Because like things are, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like people come and go in and out of your life, and whether it's like intentionally or just life, shit happens. And I just want people to know who mean a lot to me, like what that their presence is and how valuable that is, especially amongst black people, because we don't really hear that much from each other.
It's funny.
Thanks.
It's funny you say that, man, because I was thinking about this recently, just in regard being president is always something I'm trying to work on, but also just trying to find a way. This might sound a little odd, but trying to find a way to separate the really, really, really close people to you from like the people that you know, but ain't like we kind of had this discussion before some time ago about the tiers of friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got your day ones, you got your day twos. You also have associates, people you cool with, but you don't necessarily hang out with them. Your phones ain't really going back and forth. It's one of those when I see you, it's all love, but we ain't texting each other, we ain't calling each other, seeing what the move is, anything like that. Maybe a random check in on hey, what's going on in life, or you see them on social media doing something, you give them some congrats. But as far as like the people, the day to days, the people who are really like solid in there, um, the little small things, I think being present and a little other little small things that maybe only you and them know about, but that's how it separates you from this other person. Like think of it as there's certain people that can call no matter what, and you're gonna pick up that phone call. And there's other people that's gonna call, even text, and it might be a few days. It could be a little bit longer before you get a response. Like I always tell people, man, if you can get me like right away or within a couple hours, I'll fuck with you. I'm quick to leave a text message just laying there. That shit like Baines. My text thread is like Baines prison. Like that shit just stuck. You feel what I'm saying? So I always try to look at little things like that. So that was just interesting when you said it. What you get into this week, both of y'all?
Do you have a wait? Do you have a line of like what you'll talk about and what you won't?
I think of what you said. I think for one, for sure, I'm not coming on here telling anybody's business. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
That's just too much respect there. So even if I allude to something, no one would even know no detective could piece together, all right, who we talking about? What friend he got that do that? And like, I don't even want to do that. And myself, I don't know. I don't know if I really, it's usually a hard line. It's either I'm going to talk about it or I'm not. Like, I'm not even going to go to the waters. If it's a topic that I'm not going to like approach. So it's pretty clear in my head. If it gets brought up in the conversation, then I make the real time decision to say, you know what, I'm cool. I'm gonna stay out of this one, even though I got much to say. Because sometimes, man, too much information do more harm than it does good. You start getting phone calls from people and tests like, man, I ain't even say all that for all this. Like it spills if it spills into my personal life. That's when I know like I'm cool. I'm talking.
That's the thing that is like as you get older, you realize it's not even about you being vulnerable. It's more about like, yeah, I can be vulnerable. What's the reaction gonna be? Because some people don't know how to just. Some people, again, this is something that women say a lot. Sometimes a nigga just want to vent. I don't need you to problem solve. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you a nigga. Like I got my own. Like I solve my
nigga
own.
Be on
problem.
Reddit. Nigga be on Reddit talking about, well, you should do it. Like, nigga, shut up.
Ain't nobody asking for all that.
Right.
Because most of the advice that people give is like common sense advice. And sometimes, yes, that's needed. But sometimes it's like, nigga, you think that I didn't get to that before you even
I hate this, man. It's gonna be all right, man. That's a lot of the reason why I tell motherfuckers my business. It's gonna be all right, man. Nigga, shut up.
But there is a silver lining with that, because what I had to realize, Lou, when I was going through my shit, it was kind of like every day, if I can get to the next day, that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we as people tend to forget that, like, granted, I'm not saying you take life for granted, like you're always gonna wake up the next day, but more so it's like tomorrow's gonna happen regardless of what go down. You can have the best day of your life or the worst day of your life. Tomorrow's gonna happen. And there is some type of calmness to that understanding of like, bro, the shit is you gonna get through it just like you got through the last shit that you thought was monumental. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not to step on it, but Lou, you posted something that I was not even the quote. It was technically a quote, but it was a video of dude talking about the quote about how to look at life. Go, you want to get into that?
He said each week is a 7-game series. You ain't got to win every day. You just got to win 4 of them. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're looking at to write what you said, Nick. You're like, yeah, it's gonna be rough days. Like it's gonna be rough, but you got to make 4 of them count, and you're gonna be winning.
I'm going by the 80s, 70s rules, bro. We try to be 3 out of 5. asking a nigga to be productive 4 days out the week. Shit.
I see, but I think you know what? It's funny that's hilarious for one. But I think that somewhere in that's that small difference between good and great. Like I don't know if that's too deep. Like it might be a little bit too deep, but I do like the fact that it's more manageable when it is like, hey, so 7 days of the week, I can fuck around. Not say fuck around, but I can go to sleep 3 of these days and say, all right, I ain't have my best. Just like a real series, right? Like I know I'm a better team than them. We just had an off night. You know, they won by 10. Okay, bet. We still up 3-1, whatever it is. We're gonna come back out the next game, tighten up, and go from there. It was really just like that analogy. When it really gets tricky is when it's 2-2. When you head into a Friday or a weekend and you kind of, all right, man, how am I gonna end this week? Is it gonna be on a high note, low note, whatever the case is? So I just thought that was fascinating when you
and too, just real quick off what that was good, Rich, and what you said too, Nick, in the sense of one of those wins someday can't be resting though. Like if you know you need to take a rest, your win for the day could be like, because again, the goal is to make it to tomorrow, like you said. If you're stressing yourself out, you going through whatever it is, or working too hard, like you said, being productive 4 days out the week. I feel like one of them days can be, I need to take this day and take my win doing something that's relaxing for me or just stress-free for me so I can make it to the next day. I just feel like you can't have 4 of those days. Then
I get that.
But one of those can be that. So
yeah, for me, it was like a lot of people, we waste 5 days out the week just for 2. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people like have a mentality where it's like I can only live on the weekends, and I'm like, damn, if that's the case, a majority of your life is miserable, you know. And that's why I always try to be, when going back to being present, is just like, how do I make I may have said this to y'all before, but like, how do I make a Tuesday feel like a Friday? How do I make a Wednesday feel like a Saturday? Like, do something for myself, or just do something random where it's like, damn, like I didn't know I could have this much fun, or I can enjoy a week. Mostly this is the mentality I got, Lou, when I was in Atlanta. Because you could go out some nights on a Tuesday. You're like, bro, it's exactly crap.
It can happen on any night now. Even though Atlanta ain't what it used to be, it still can happen any night down here.
Yeah. What's that mean?
What's that? What?
Atlanta's not what it used to be. What's that mean?
Man, when I first got here, this city was good. It was cracking. I'm talking about prominent people in different clubs every night. Like you would listen to the radio. It's like, you gotta think this was 2013. So we're talking about 13 years ago. So it wasn't as much iTunes and CarPlay or whatever you got now. So me and AB would listen to the radio, see what was going on while we was down here and stuff like that. And man, it was somebody down here every night. Like you could, if you wanted to, you could go out, do something every night, and it would be like a big popping event. Now it's more so spread out. I feel like more. Of course, I've gotten older as well. I was just about to ask all of that anyway. But it's still the entertainment industry ain't what it was either when we first got down. So it couldn't even pop like it was. Like these people were in their heyday when it was Rick Ross and it was T.I. and it was like Jeezy gonna be here and all of these people that were popping. I don't even feel like it's enough popping people to do that now unless it's the younger crowd. So it may still be like that for the young people now that I talk through it with you. But for me, it ain't like it used to be down here.
I was gonna ask how much of that was just maturation and you're just not wanting that anymore. You know what I mean?
That may be it.
So I think that's a big part of it. Obviously y'all hear the voices. It's your host Rich, joined by the legend Spike Lou. We got Nick in the building. What's going on, man? We already kind of did the pleasantries and introductions. I want to make sure we get some time to go into the comments real quick though. Spike Lou, did you have a chance to listen to the episode solo?
Yeah, I listened to it.
What you think?
Hold on, do my mic sound the same? Okay, got it. I thought it was dope. I think you did a great job. I was surprised that going 45 minutes is hard. Pause. As far as hold on,
I was saying, Lou been slipping this week. Talk about 4 out of 7. He back to back
Nah,
days of straight
that's
pause.
a difficult thing to do, man. Talk for 45 minutes solo, but it was a really good episode. I like what you were saying about your father. That was led to a really good phone call that I had yesterday with Dave, and
Yeah, Dave hit me up today, man.
he did.
Yeah, he did, man. Dave hit
Yeah,
me
he
up
has
today,
some.
which is always
So
you
he
never
has a.
know. Go ahead, wait.
I was just gonna say he has a really good idea that y'all are gonna really enjoy once we put that together for an episode. Just his perspective on it while he was listening to it, I thought was fascinating. He brought some really good points, but yeah, you did a really good job. I feel like I didn't even need to step on that because I was gonna do a solo one too. I feel like
Yeah.
that was sufficient enough for the audience and what people listen to. I ain't gonna hold you because I'm real. I was skeptical at first when we were texting back and forth, and you
I know
was
you
like
were.
42 minutes. I was like, what? 42
Yeah,
minutes?
I know you were. Yeah.
But you did your thing. I think you have an attitude like me, probably because you like you said you knew I was, so you may have picked up on it, and that's fueled it and motivated. And that's a similar characteristic that I have. So it was a good job. It was a wonderful job, bro.
No, I appreciate you, man. It's those those are the ones when it's like, damn. Like once it's out there, you start double thinking like I can just let this one sit in the tuck. I ain't even got to release this. We could take the week off. The only reason it worked because I had something to say. Like if I didn't have anything to say, I would have never done it. It would have just been another week without an episode. Or I know this conversation was originally slated for last week, but the scheduling got a little bit mixed up. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback Dave gave, and how it impacted him and all of that stuff. And when you just kind of speaking truly, the fact that people can resonate with it and kind of get their own feeling from it, I'm always thankful for that. Mo sent me a couple voice notes, man, and it was pretty interesting. I want to. I haven't talked to him about it because I had a very busy week last week. It was like he gave me a talking to in a sense. It wasn't bad, but it was also he gave me one of those like, "Hey, bro, you gotta stop sleeping on yourself" speeches. It was out of nowhere. Like I won't say out of nowhere. He listened to the episode, but he didn't even speak about the episode. He was like, "Hey, man, you gotta like understand like this is how people like view you, or me recording with you, learning how funny you are, this that, and the third, like this that." And I haven't, like I said, I got it when I was in Vegas, so I had a chance to really properly respond. He was like, "No,
you didn't even
response
respond
needed."
to it.
Well, I told him I was like, I listened to it, but I'm not. Like,
Okay,
I can't send you a voice note back. And then
I
he
was
was
about
like,
to
"It's all
say
good."
he found out he was an associate.
It sounded like it.
No. I hit him.
Damn.
No, because I literally was in Vegas when it happened that Friday, and I was texting him like, "Yo, I got your message. I listened to it, but I'm out and about right now. I can't really send you one back. I'm gonna respond later." He was like, "Don't even worry about responding. I just wanted to tell you this." So I always appreciate stuff like that as well because we need people to let us know, like, hey man, like how you view you ain't necessarily how other people view you.
Man,
I need you to remember that. You know what I mean? It's a good reminder for that.
You preaching on that for me because my girl just told me that. My mom and my girl told me that because like they be like, I don't know why you don't talk about yourself in a certain light. Like you're very critical or like you kind of gloss over the shit. And I'm just like, in my mind, it's like I'm still in the mud, or like I'm still I'm not a polished person or a version of myself that I know I can get to. So I while I appreciate them acknowledging certain stages, it's just kind of like I'm not done yet, like I always tell people I'm still in that cocoon phase, you know what I'm saying? So, but again, me having to talk to myself consistently as far as being present, like being aware of your wins. You are always aware of your losses. Your losses be feeling like a banner dropped. You always can see that. You know what I'm saying? But when the wins is kind of like we treat it just like a good meal, where it's like, yeah, this is solid, but I still got the next one to think about. You know,
I'm still gonna have to eat
I
tomorrow.
wonder,
yeah, exactly.
I wonder what that is because you hear a lot of like sports comparisons, right? When coaches will say, I think about the losses way more than the wins. It ain't the championships I sit there and dwell on. It's the game 7 that we lost that I think about all the time. Not hoisting the trophies. I wonder where that comes from. Like why we can't appreciate those wins just as much as we do, just as much as the losses haunt us.
I think it depends on your upbringing. Like everything in life comes back to that in certain ways. Because like if you was in a situation where you always had to be your best, or you always, you know how they say for black folks, especially culturally, like we got to work twice as hard to get half as much. It's just kind of like our losses feel heavier because it's like I already am starting 10 feet back. Any more, any more mistakes that I make, or any mistake I make, feels like you're just, hurting yourself twice over, as opposed to other people where it's just like, okay, I made a mistake and I move on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, that necessarily doesn't have to deal with always circumstances as far as upbringing, but I feel like when we're talking amongst ourselves as black folk, that's usually where everything starts. It's always starting from a scarcity of something. Like we either have a scarcity of time, opportunity, finances, whatever whatever you may say. Is like it just always feels like we're working in a deficit, and we just trying to, we pray for just to get into the black, or no, we pray to even just hit even. If we get to the black, then we celebrating like it's. That's why when niggas make it, we act the fool because it's like, nigga, I didn't even think I was gonna make it, let alone be out of debt.
Yeah. Celebrate your first downs like they touchdowns. I get it. I get it, man. What you about to say, Lou?
Um, the losses I feel like stick with us more because you don't want that. Like you're now trying to protect yourself after the loss, so you don't want to feel like that no more. So I feel like it stay on our mind because we always trying to play defense against taking another one, even though they're unavoidable. You always learn something in the loss, all of those good things, but you just hate that feeling that you had when you was going through it, when it happened, that you got to think about it. And the reason I feel like the losses stay on our mind so much is because now I'm trying to run the game plan of where I ain't never got to do that again. Well, I ain't never trying to feel like that again. So you constantly coming up with more things and more ways to make sure that stuff stays avoidable. And then with the wins, it's like what you said, Nick. Okay, I'm trying to get another. I'm trying to stack a few of these up. So I can't even take time and cherish those like I should, like we should, like you said, Rich. You can't take time and sit and cherish a win, even even if the feat was, something you've been training and working for. You still feel like, okay, I ate. Now tomorrow I got to eat too. Like it's food that need to be ate too. So it's an interesting thing. I don't know what it is, but I really think it's us protecting ourselves.
So the quote out there, there's a quote that says, if you ain't losing, you ain't trying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't miss, you ain't trying. You ain't shooting enough. You know what I mean? If all your shots are makes, there's got to be some good in those losses too. That can't consume us at the same time. Like it's got to be a way, and this is something that I struggle with as well. And who's to say what's an appropriate time to appreciate and celebrate something, right? I think there's just a natural progression anyway, where it's just time to move on. Like, so you can appreciate that you did something, you accomplished something. I don't want to speak for Mo, but I'm sure Mo, once he moved on from another week in the books, he was able to stop and say, you know what, I did a lot there. I'm proud of the work I did there, but also say, all right, it's time to go to the next thing, and not really dwell on, oh, I wish I was still doing it or anything like that. I think it has to be a lot to do with, are you at peace with whatever decision's coming? Like, am I at peace with the loss just as much as I'm at peace with the win? Like, I think a lot of times it can be depending on how I do it. Like, I'm cool with a loss as long as I know I gave it all. I'm not cool with a loss when I know I let some shit out there on the court. When I'm just like, damn, man, I could have done this a little better. I could have tried a little bit harder. I could have hustled a little bit more. Those are the moments. Those are the ones that fuck me up. Like the general losses that we take, that's part of the game. The ones when I'm sitting there like, man, if I did this one or two things differently, this could have played out a whole different way. Those are the ones that fuck me up.
So there's a story I got with that. And this is back when I was in Atlanta. So when I found out that I was leaving and I was moving to Connecticut, I was celebrating. I was celebrating with the homies, right? So Lou, you remember that burger spot that we used to go to with the funny ass bartender? Yeah.
Bartender, yeah.
So down the street from there is this I think it's still open. I hope it is, because every time I try to always go there when I get back to the city. But there's this place called Marcus Bar and Grill down the street. It's in like a plaza with a Publix and shit too. And that's where I went to go celebrate with the homies. So we drinking, they buying me drinks and all that stuff. I'm getting sauced up a little bit. But you know how every nigga is, he feel like he good enough to, to drive and shit. So I drive home and I slightly like fall asleep at the wheel and I hit something. As I'm like 5 minutes from my spot. my goofy ass was like, all right, you know what? Because I didn't know what I hit, but I know I hit something, but I was able to make it into to my the parking lot area, my parking spot. And I was like, you know what? Regardless of what it is, because at this point in time, I'm thinking, oh damn, did I hit a animal? Did I hit a bum? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what the hell it was going on. I was like, damn, just Lou, I was like, damn, this just my nigga luck. As soon as I get a good job position, I'll fuck it up. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I literally I did this. I was like, let me go to sleep. I'll wake up and deal with it. This is tomorrow's Knicks problems. I will wake it up. So I went to sleep. Obviously, I'm already halfway drunk. So I wake up like drunkenly, like, damn, did all that shit happen last night? And then as soon as I remember exactly what happened, I sprung out of bed and I was like scared to like look. I was like, bro, if I see blood on the front thing, I'm gonna be terrified. I go downstairs and I look at it. My car fucked up in the front, but there's no blood. And then I look outside and I see I just hit a big ass curb. So I was like, obviously I calmed down, but then I was like, still fuck, because I'm like, I gotta get this repaired and shit. Now that's more money outside of me moving that I gotta spend. So this is around the time that the Kia Boy shit was popping. And I got a Kia. So when I took my car to get it replaced or to fix, they said, okay, because of this whole theft shit going on, we're going to give you, like, obviously we're gonna fix your car, but we're just gonna give you an automatic upgrade for that shit just to make sure you safe. I'm like, okay, cool. I get all the way to Connecticut, I get to my spot, and like 2 months in, someone tries to break into my car. They bash my window and they open up the steering wheel because I didn't realize I had to find out on TikTok how the Kia boys do it. What happened was Kia's like they had a USB port connector in the steering wheel, so when you turn, you could have a regular USB. You turn that motherfucking car go on, you could take off. So they tried to do that, but the thing was broken. But the thing was upgraded, so they just broke my shit and just left it there. Now the reason why I bring up that story is because if I didn't fuck up, I would have lost the car, which means that would have been way more money that I would have had to spend getting it fixed. And I feel like God sometimes works in a weird way where he was like, you really had a loss here, but here's how I'm gonna turn it into a win. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you like obviously you should have just had your friend take you home or take a lift home instead of driving. So you came out a couple stacks. But that's better than you coming out like $30,000-$40,000 to try to get another car, i.e. another car note. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it was like it really shifted my mindset of like, I understand why people say, you know, the L's aren't L's, there's lessons. You know, it's a good rap line, but like really it is, because it's like it teaches you about life. Like you can't really focus on small things because you're gonna miss the bigger picture. Because if I did get a ride home and everything was easy and I had my car here in Connecticut at the time the Kia Boys got it, I would have lost the car.
And we just talked about this a few chapters back where when we talked about the Jay-Z interview, the GQ, when he said, you know, things happen to you, not happen for you, not to you. You know, even if you don't understand it at that moment. And he said that bar that you're talking about, loss ain't a loss, it's a lesson. Appreciate the pain, it's a blessing. That's very interesting because there's a lot of things that happen that way. And you don't
I got another story too. But I don't know if I'm ready to share it yet.
Well, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this in essence. Do you ever stop and take time to appreciate the clarity in that? Because a lot of people can't see it like that. Like,
how long did it take you to get to that?
A lot of people just been like, damn, they really fucking with my car. My car really having issues. But you was like, oh, if this didn't happen back in Atlanta, they would have got my shit. Like
I was talking to one of my homegirls. It was like mid conversation. I was just retelling the story, and then it clicked. It happened like a year later. So like it was like my first year that I got here was like the end of 2023, going into the top of 24. That's when my car got broken into. I didn't have that conversation with my homegirl until later on that year. And in the middle of the conversation, I realized I was like, oh, that was God. And it just blew my mind. Cause like, obviously, you know, people who are Christian, you know, or Christian faith, they pray all the time, or they pray, you know, they talk about God, but it's hard. Sometimes there's certain moments in your life where it's like, I know that was either a miracle or that was a blessing. Cause I didn't deserve none of that, but I still got it. And the other situation that I'm thinking about, I may share it before the end of the episode, but it's just like that was a whole situation that again would have prevented me from moving and taking this opportunity that I took in Connecticut. So like it was just there's times in my life where like I try to just reflect and really the times again like when people tell you like, oh, you doing really big things or you doing really great and all that stuff, I'm reflecting on that and I'm like, you know what, that is something. You know what I'm saying? That did happen, and I'm glad it did happen, and I'm glad I was able to get through it because I'm better for it, you know. And I think that sometimes we just don't grade ourselves on. We always grade ourselves on a curve negatively, not even positively. Like we're always thinking like we can always do better, be better. That one mistake hurts twice as much as that one win. But it's like, nah, like this shit balance out for the most part. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, the shit is going to balance out.
I wonder. That's interesting, man. I just had something. The whole idea of, I don't know, just stopping and reflecting on things like that, right? I think that's something we need to do more of. At least me. But I think it can be helpful overall. But just taking some moments, and we just talked about how the looking at wins and losses or treating the L's too much. Just sitting down and just kind of reflecting how you got to where you are. I think just a nice little, maybe I don't know how often it could be, a month, every 6 months, or just kind of sitting down with us on the porch, whether it's going to a park, or doing whatever you need to do to stop and reflect and just really take some inventory in your life and how you got there. I think that's important. So, like I said, the fact that you were able to even pick up on it, even a year later, I love those mind-blown moments when like, oh shit, like all of this is meant to be. It's all, and it kind of gives you, for me, when I connect those dots, it's like, oh, I'm not losing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really like when people say the line, I'm God's favorite, like, oh yeah, this is all gonna work out. I talked about it in the episode last week. I see this. Like, I'm not. Sometimes it sounds crazy when nobody else can see it, but like when I said that last week, I see it. And I'm cool with being the only person that sees it, if that's the case. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. So that's dope, man. That's dope that you had the opportunity to do that and you were aware enough to see it.
Yeah, and most people are gonna be like, he over here talking all this shit about a punk ass Kia. That's my baby. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Lou know what I'm talking about, bro. When you have your first few cars up to yourself, you doing any and everything in that motherfucker. Yeah, like the one that you take care of. Exactly. The one that you take care of. You do all this shit. Like you move with it. It's like that's my baby. So like
I got a Kia. My shit got stolen when I moved to Cleveland. They yanked my shit, bro. I was Saudi.
Bruh,
They found it. It was cool, but it wasn't cool. I had to get it fixed up, but I had insurance and all that, but it was still like, damn.
And as for men, cars are literally like outside of our moms, our first loves. like your car to you is like, this is the vehicle of my independence. This vehicle represents me. It represents my struggles, what I've been through. It helps me get to A to B, bitty to bitty. You know what I'm saying? It's like
first car thing. I ain't got to call nobody for no ride home from work. Yep. I can hit the house party, like all of that shit right there.
That's your baby.
So like, wow, too. We used to ride like one nigga had a car. Oh man, 5 deep, nigga. Like, cause riding 5 deep is fucking nuts.
In 2026, it sounds insane.
You really don't even want 3 people in your car. Maybe not even one. Like, yeah, I'll meet you there or whatever it may be. But you really don't even want nobody in the back seat.
Riding 4 deep is a lot.
4 deep is crazy. Y'all up to something. In 2026, 2026, you up to something. Y'all,
real talk,
y'all finna go hit a lick like something up.
Real talk.
Niggas riding 4 deep, bro.
I understand why the police pull us over, but
4 deep, you all get pulled over. Like, hold on, what y'all got going on, bro? Like,
the way this gas looking, man, I don't know, man. Niggas might be riding 4-5 deep now.
Hey,
that shit crazy.
Real talk. Less than that, the way gas is going, this is me going out. I'm doing virtual social gatherings, nigga.
Oh shit, man!
You gotta do all your shit in one swoop, man. That shit crazy.
They charging $4.25 up here a gallon.
That's what it is down here. About 4. Well, diesel is 5.
Yeah, diesel like $6 over here.
It's $4.88 here, some shit like that. But I done that before too, nigga. In my way younger days in Atlanta, like thinking you can make it and hit something and woke up and like, damn, did that happen? But I hit like it was a sign turning into my subdivision. This shit fucked my car all the way up. And I was like, because it was like exactly what you said. I was like, I wasn't even 5 minutes away from the house. I was like 2 minutes. And then at last, then you look up and you right in front of the sign. So I definitely have done that before. And then, like you said, I'll deal with that shit tomorrow. And then you wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, wait, I know that ain't for real. And you go out there and be like, oh.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Y'all saying that? So on Monday, Dave Chappelle announced or put tickets on sale for a 3-day. He got this club in Yellow Springs, holds like 150 to 200 people. I talked about it before, but he had a 3-day thing. He working on a set for a Netflix comedy show. So he doing some warm-up stuff. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he had shows there. Tickets go on sale Monday. The first show was Monday night. I got tickets to that Monday show. So Yellow Springs is about 2 hours and 45 minutes from me up here in Cleveland. So I drove down after coming back fresh off Vegas, drove down to Yellow Springs. Show ain't start till 10 p.m. Ended about 1 and drove back to Cleveland. Man, when I tell you about an hour into that drive, I pulled off to one of them like truck gas stations. I had to take a nap because I felt myself on that. I ain't trying to do that on the highway. That shit was crazy. I got a Waffle House, took a nap.
That shit be like, and you be
words because you know, and like especially if you in between like the little truck stop things, and you feel one, and you like, oh shit, I gotta pull over or something. At least get 15 in.
I got about 20, 25. I got some Waffle House. I got right back on the road. I got home about 5 something, but it was crazy because that falling asleep shit. When you driving, that's real.
It'll sneak up on you.
That's just scary,
bro. And it's hard to shake because it's like you be doing some goofy shit to keep yourself up. You roll the window down. You turn up the music. You may slap yourself a little bit. And you be like, all right, I'm good. And then like that 20 minutes to go by, you be like, bro. And it's dangerous though because it's like,
do it.
Yeah, if you don't have to, don't do it. But yeah,
the whole get it so you ain't have to go through that. I definitely don't drive. I don't even play about driving like lit like it no more. So that did it for me.
That woke me up. That woke me up. And
Uber.
I always tell people, man, that $50 Uber is much cheaper than the lawyer fees,
10,000
support fees, all that.
10K.
Man. Like,
you want to spend at least 10 racks on a DUI, at least.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you though, Lou. As much Law and Order I've been watching, bro. When I thought I hit a bum, I was like, I ain't turning myself in.
That's a Lifetime movie. That's a Lifetime movie right there. Nigga, you just got the new thing. You like, man, I'm gonna make it. I'm good. Nigga done killed the bum.
That shit crazy,
bro. And there was one situation that I was in, and Lou and a bunch of other people know what I'm talking about. If they would have checked my car during that situation. I would have been under the jail. Bro, I had a half a bottle of Cassie. I had about 3 blizzies on me, bro, and the door was wide open too.
See, that's God.
That was God, because Cuz told me he was like, go home, bro.
Shut up. It's what you was thinking the whole time.
That shit's silly.
Rich, you know what we talking about too.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. That's silly. I ain't even saying nothing.
He just trying to get through it. I'm just saying, like, I Rich, when you was asking me like how do I remember this or like when do I reflect on this? But I reflect on it every day. Before I take a shower, that's my time to pray and thank God for me even waking up today, walking, talking. And then I take my shower, that's washing my sins away. Because I'm like, nigga, the shit that I got away with is like, only God is like, bro, there's something better for you for this.
Damn.
Hey, you got to be, man. Hey, I got questions about that, but this ain't the place. I want to get into the conversation of what originally brought you here to begin with. I told y'all last week I knew I was going to be out of town, so we couldn't have our normal recording. Lou was working with Nick; they were going to do an episode, but obviously we're having it now. But when Lou texted me the premise, I thought it was dope, and I want to hear more about how you got there, which is that time to move on, just that reaching that point of life. You kind of alluded to it earlier when you said, leaving Cincinnati, going to Atlanta, leaving Atlanta, going to where you are now, and now looking like you're going to leave there. What inspired you to want to have this conversation? and what are your thoughts on or your progression of moving around a few times now of the idea of moving on and knowing when it's time to kind of reach your full potential?
Well, I mean, because I'm in the middle of it again. So my 3-year anniversary of leaving Atlanta would be the end of like November 1st. November 1st of
like
this year.
I don't even know you like that, and I feel like that flew by. Like I was around the
bruh,
orbit enough to know when
it felt as quick as it seems, but then 3 years is actually a long time if you think about it, because I was in Atlanta for 5. You know what I'm saying? So it's still, again, it's a lot of reflection going on, but I brought that up because I feel like as Black people, specifically when I talk to y'all, I'm talking about Black men, we don't talk about transitions a lot in different, y'all have a podcast that has chapters, literally like going to the next chapter of your life, and you feeling that, but you're not always have the words to communicate it, and not even just to yourself, but to other people. Like Lou was talking about earlier, like there's some information where it's just like, I don't even know how I should talk about this, but this is just kind of how I'm feeling. Cause like there's times in my life, especially right now, where I'm like, I need something different. I gotta this. I've either hit the ceiling where I'm at, or the environment doesn't feel the same, and I feel like I need to make something new. When I was leaving Cincinnati, I was trying to leave Cincinnati back when I graduated from the University of Cincinnati. I think that was 2015. I was trying to leave then, but I didn't end up leaving until 2018. Because Rich, you already know, bro. Once you grow up, you're born and raised in Cincy, it's like, all right, you kind of get the gist of this thing. And it's kind of like riding a bike your first time, and you got the training wheels. Like, all right, I'm ready to take these bitches off and start going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
seriously,
so
yeah.
like you use Cincy as a great place to kind of grow and learn about yourself and get your fundamentals, and then you take that elsewhere. So that's what I was ready to do. So when I got to Atlanta, when I was leaving for Atlanta, there was
real quick. Did you have, when you wanted to leave, did you have a place in mind of where you wanted to go, where you just knew I want to get out of Cincinnati?
it was Atlanta. It was Atlanta.
All right, so you
like,
wanted to go Atlanta from jump. Okay.
It was strategic because I was like, I want to be close to home, but far enough away that I could still like be myself. Because I was on a mission of being like, I want to be my own man. Like I've been around family and friends too much. I want to be my own man. And I was doing like some types of like trips just to see like certain cities and stuff like that. Could I live here? Could I live there? I love the fact that, Atlanta is like, you just take 75 straight down, you take 75 straight up, and you get there. You could take 75 from Detroit all the way to Miami, just taking that highway straight, which is crazy. Yeah. So it was easy access for me to come home and leave, but it was also a city that was super Black, and it's something that I never experienced before, like a big major city. Even though Atlanta isn't like New York or LA, but to me, it's the LA of the South, or New York of the South. 100%. So going there was like, okay, this is gonna be a challenge that I could take, and that feeling was the same feeling that I had when I was in Atlanta when I left to Connecticut. It was like, I'm around. I've built a good community. I got all this stuff, but I still feel like I haven't got it out the mud yet. I don't know why I had that feeling, but it just felt like I was complacent.
What is that? Let me stop you real quick. What does that mean? Like, get it out the mud, and why was that so important to you? Like, to you, what does that phrase mean?
I'm big on storytelling. That's why I love films, TV shows, even sports. I'm big on storytelling, and in all stories, the main one that I keep going back to is like, this series got me into reading a lot of kids too. The Harry Potter series. Specifically, there's the 3rd book. I think it's titled The Prisoner of Azkaban, where that shows the shift in like it being a kid's story to being like, oh, we getting more adult. Because niggas started dying in that motherfucker. And the one scene or the one part of the book that I really enjoyed, that I really stood out to me, was when Harry learned how, like, that was his transition of becoming a man, from a boy to a man, is when he thought that his dad, who's been dead for a while, came to save him at a time where he needed to be saved. And he thought that so it's a fantastical book, so it was some time travel shit. But he went back in time to that same scene, and he was trying to show his friend, like, oh, wait, my dad is going to come to save me. And nobody came. And he didn't, and then he had to go save himself as his past self, as the future self. And in that, he realized no one's going to come to save you. Only you can come to save you. And to me, that was a talk about like a boy going to a man. Is like, and we learn this in our own way in reality, especially as black men. Like, bruh, we're not like other people where we have these plan Bs or things to fall on. Like, no, it's just you. And I was feeling like that in Atlanta, where I was like, I feel like I've been leaning on my friends too much. I feel like I use my family as a lifeline, and I haven't really relied on my own skill set, the things that I know that I feel like I can do, but haven't done them yet. I need to put myself in an environment that will force me to grow. And that's why I had to get when I came to Connecticut. I have no family, no friends around here. It was just me. And I wanted to be stripped away from all that, because I'm like, if I can make it here and do well and be that, then I'll finally understand the things that they saw in me. Then I'll finally reach the goals that I'm trying to get to.
So even though you left, for those who haven't been to Cincinnati, Cincinnati is big enough and it's small enough. If you understand what I'm saying, like it's a very small degree of separation where you only 2 or 3 people away from knowing somebody else. There's also a big enough city where you can move around. Atlanta's obviously much different than that, right? Much different than that. So even though you went down there with people you knew, taking that jump from a city like Cincy to Atlanta, you still felt like you weren't necessarily getting there because you had friends around or you were leaning on them too much.
Yeah, because I had all my homies from Cincy came down. Like slowly but surely,
so
like
Cincy South.
Exactly.
That's the one thing I tell people. Like, I get what you're saying. When I was moving to Cleveland, right? Because I was at the same point of you where I was just at the point of life where I'm at. Something got to shake. Never in my wildest years that I ever think I'd be living in Cleveland. Anybody in Cincinnati will ever tell you that. I think most Cincinnati people will tell you if I leave Cincinnati, I'm leaving the state. You know, we don't really move. You see some people going to Columbus or Cleveland or there, but usually to go somewhere else. I say all that to say, when I moved, I started looking at different areas of just even what side of town I want to live in. And it hit me really quickly. All this shit the same. Your community is your community. Like you're gonna land in a spot, if you're in a good area, you're gonna land in a spot with your grocery store, your Target, your little watering hole, all of that. Like they might look different, have different names based on what part of town. But as far as what you need in your essentials, they all gonna be around. Right. So where you live, the bonus is going to be, all right, in Atlanta, we got more stuff to do. We got more events, but your day-to-day life, I feel, is always going to be kind of the same, no matter what city you live in. Obviously, the extracurricular is going to be changing a little bit. But I say all that when I look at it and I'm saying, hey, you bring your friends coming down with you. I can understand how that's one of those, ain't really much change, even though we in a different city. I'm still with the same people. Do you feel like that stopped you from meeting new people or being intentional about meeting new people?
No,
that you had your boys with you.
It didn't stop me from meeting new people because I'm naturally an introvert, but I realized if you're really trying to get to this money, you got to know how to talk and work a room. But what it made me realize is that I thought that me leaving my home would mean that I'm on my own. It's not. For me, leaving everything was me being on my own, because when I was in Atlanta, if I wanted to go out, I just hit up the homies, we go out. If I wanted to go do something or whatever, like I hit up the homies and we'll go do that. When I got to Connecticut, I had nobody to hit up. So it made me realize I wanted to go out, I really had to go out because I'm going out dolo. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wanted to, do anything, I'm by myself. And I never had that as an option. It was always like, if I wanted to be by myself, I could just I'll just go see a movie early or whatever by myself. But I always had people that was hitting me up to go out. But when you out somewhere by yourself where you don't know anybody, you have to establish everything. So this makes you go back to your fundamentals on communication, your fundamentals on how you navigate new areas without asking for help or asking for like, oh, how I get there type shit. How to present yourself, because no one knows you. Like when I was in Cincinnati, I grew up with people who knew me. When I was in Atlanta, I grew up with people who knew me. When I'm out here, no one knows me from a camp. They don't know what the hell Cincinnati is. They just know Ohio. You know what I'm saying?
Do you enjoy that? Have you found yourself enjoying it?
It's a new muscle that I had to work that I never really thought about using. And I ended up, I don't know if enjoyment is the right word. I feel like it was a challenge that I've found intriguing because there's sometimes where you fall flat. I fall flat on my face trying to introduce myself or trying to present myself a certain way, and knowing that that's the only impression someone's gonna get. They're not gonna have like, oh, I see Nick every day or I see Nick every so and so. So I'll have more opportunities to make up for it. But then there's also the challenge of when you hit. It's kind of like playing the game. Like you're gonna miss some shots, but when you make that shots and you keep on hitting in a row, you be like, okay, I'm getting a feel for it now. Especially in the environment where I'm in, where I'm meeting all kinds of different people that's again on doing way different shit than I'm doing, or people who are always being presented by someone who's interesting and fascinating, and someone who is new to the area and new to the space, and just new to trying to figure out who they are in this environment. That's a lot of things you have to practice on and work on till you get it right.
Rich, do you experience something similar being in Cleveland? Like, do you have people there?
Yeah, I got people from college here. It's a little bit different though
Oh, okay.
because the way Cleveland's set up, the east side and the west side, there's nowhere you can't get to anywhere quick. But it's not like Atlanta where you can't get to anywhere quick. Like Cleveland's not big enough for me to like. Why are you 8 miles away, but it's taking 29 minutes to get to you? Like it's weird the way it's set up. So there's really no reason for me to go on the east side unless I'm going to see somebody like that. And it's you at least 25, 30 minutes. We get together probably once a month. We try to be intentional about it. But most of the time, I'm just kind of thugging. And I'm on my side and I'm just kind of working it out. But I'm much more of I like that. I like, one of the first things when I first moved and got comfortable, it was warm going out on walks, just kind of seeing what's in the neighborhood. I live in a good spot too where there's stuff going on. I can jump into this spot, that spot, this little place and kind of explore new things versus if I was just stuck in a certain area. There's some parts of town I look at, I'm like, man, if I moved over there, I'd be gone already. Like, there's no way I can do it. So I kind of lucked up in that sense.
I find it interesting that you say that, Nick, because I'm like that now too. Like, of course, I've been in Atlanta a long time, and I do have friends down here, but most of them ain't into like just did whatever. Like, I don't hit people up to go out. You know what I'm saying? So if I do go out to grab a good meal or to sit at a bar and have a game, I usually go by myself. And you're right, it is it's a different muscle. I feel like I always end up in conversation with people and stuff like that though. Like it's all like, oh, like people just gravitate. Like I'll be sitting there and motherfuckers just come talking to me, which I find interesting. When you're by yourself, that happens a lot. But it is a different experience because where I'm from, Rich, you saying like we used to all go out. We group up and like my friends was my brothers. Like we did everything together. And then when I first came down here near AB, we were close enough. We like lived in like we were roommates at first, and then we lived like up the street from each other. So we would go places together. Now he live an hour away from me. You know what I'm saying? So we don't like unless it's somewhat related to podcasting or something of that nature. Then we'll hit each other up, let me know. Then we'll meet each other there or something like that. But other than that, if I'm going somewhere, if I'm grabbing a drink or whatever it may be, I'm dolo. And it's very interesting how you navigate through that. Like you said, Nick, I ain't gonna use fall on your face. I don't know what you mean when you say that. That don't really happen to me too much. But
this nigga be gassing. You know exactly what I mean, nigga.
But no, I ain't even saying that. I'm just saying that because I really usually don't initiate anything. And that's on. I was being funny, but as I think about it, when I'm saying it, I don't go up and talk to people really unless it's in like some networking and podcasting event or something of that nature. But it's a really interesting experience to have if you are used to going out and being able to just hit up the homies. It's very interesting. I thought about that recently as well.
Well, it's funny you say that because as you were talking and you asked me the question, the big difference between Nick moving to Atlanta and me moving to Cleveland, I was already past the going out part of life. It probably would have been a little bit more difficult if I was still on the scene.
But you do
a little bit more.
Well, not even going out. But I'm just saying, you go eat nice food. I see your Instagram story.
I
see
do a
you
lot of
like
fly shit. I do a lot of fly shit, man.
hey, congratulations, bro. That's what I'm saying. You'll be at like a little art event or some shit like that.
Yeah,
like I just recently went to that shit that I was telling you about.
Yeah, that's the Jack
It was
Daniels
a
joint.
fire. Yeah, it was a fire ass event, but I was dolo. Now I don't go out like
Mm-hmm.
that either. But even like on like just going out to eat, when you want to go grab a nice plate of food, do you go dolo?
Oh, sometimes. If not, then I'm starting to get better at hitting people up. I value my
I'm
solo time.
terrible.
That's my issue. A lot of people look for people to do things with. I enjoy doing things by myself.
By myself, I'm the same way.
But I've also found the value in, and it happens by accident, slowly but surely. Where I've had people, I got somebody right now, right, who is very adamant on she wants to be my friend. And I mean, like, literally, she wants to be my friend. I've known her for a minute.
Like
I've known her since
platonic
college.
friend?
Yeah, who knows what she means?
He over here.
I'm assuming that's
look,
what
Rich, you got this nigga bragging already, but we barely an hour in. All right, go ahead. Tell us about how this Biddy wants you desperately.
No. We went to school together, but we weren't cool like that in school. We knew each other. We weren't cool like that. The reason I didn't bring it up because it was one of those things where I was confused, but I also felt bad for being so confused. So I was like, why are you so pressed on being friends? Like, she really just wanted a friend. And that's one of the things I noticed about certain people. They want that companionship, and it doesn't mean that they're looking for anything more than that. They really sometimes just need somebody that's, hey, and I guess because she doesn't necessarily live here, she's in and out. So like, hey, when I pull up, it'd be nice to have somebody that do some cool, like who I know I can hit up if I want to go out for a meal. If I want to do this, you would be down, because I think we share similar interests, and she sees that. And it wasn't no, like I'm trying to get at you. It was literally, and I think that's the thing that made it interesting for me. And that's us as men and our egos, right? Our egos automatically, if a woman come up to you, think like, oh, she's trying to get at me. I think she sincerely just said, I want to be friends with you. And there's nothing that's been funny in other.
Y'all still friends?
Go ahead,
y'all still friends?
No, I got it.
We cool.
Okay, go ahead, ask your question, Lou. Go ahead, ask your question.
Because all of that was cool. How does she look? That's what everybody listening.
She cool.
Okay. She cool? Rubbing your eyes, or you say
she ain't listening.
That's funny. Yeah, he only thought friendship, Lou.
But I understand the answer more now. I get it.
He only saw friendship. He couldn't even compute anything else.
I get what you say. I didn't did that before too, brother.
Man.
That's funny. Hey, that's funny.
I don't even know how we got here. Where I was saying. Either way,
there's three things I wanted to say with that. One, as humans, we humans like being around other humans. Like, we can't help it. It's a habitual habit. Two, I feel like as an adult, trying to make friends is one of the hardest things to do, whether you a man or a woman or however you identify. Like, once you hit over 25, like, you're in situations like, you know how when you grow up in school and all that, you usually around the same age group. No more than 4 years difference. When you get into the working world, you could be 25 and you working with somebody 45, working with somebody who's 60, about to retire. Like, it's a whole new demographic. So, like, trying to make friends as an adult, especially with people around you, is just weird and awkward sometimes. So, like, how that woman approached you, you was probably just like, hold on, what the hell do you want from me? And it's like, she was like, look, nigga, I don't know how to say it. I just want to be friends. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the same shit I'm doing. That's what friends do. And for me,
Lou, funny, man.
Another thing,
because I was thinking about how me and Nick even started hanging out. Because it's because out of everybody that I record with or that we record with, me and Nick was the only two that would hang out outside the podcast. Like, we go grab food, we go to different little spots or whatever it may be. We hit each other up on the weekend. And it was never no conversation or nothing like, hey, you want to be friends, but you just gravitate, like you said, towards people. You see they have similar interests, and we was just actually, that's what made me want to have you on today, because it's funny.
They'd be like, damn, Nick, you brought your uncle out? Cool to see y'all. Hey, man, y'all got such a good relationship. Keep the
It's funny
family close.
when we would go out, we would talk like this, like we talking now. And I ain't talked to Nick like that in a while. And we was doing a recording Monday, and so me and Nick record together every Tuesday, but we doing Dead End Sports. So I realized we hadn't talked, and we was doing a recording. It's funny how women bring it out of us. Like we talk to women, like we ain't like we'll do each other like, "What's up? You good? Okay, cool," and then keep it moving to what we're doing. But Nay, who does frame per second with us, she was asking him, and this is when he was going into, "Oh, I'm moving and I'm doing this, and I may go here and I may go there, and I was doing this," and I was listening and I was thinking, I was like, "Damn, I talk to Nick every week and I ain't know none of this shit." and that's what made me think of having him come on the show. But I'm not saying it's his or my fault. It's just we don't talk like that anymore. And I realized it was a conversation I feel like that would be good for people to hear, just based off what I heard you telling her and then our relationship. So it's funny.
Dude.
I like I said, I seen it going around on the internet. Like men will hang together and go out or whatever it may be, and somebody will tell us something like, "We really ain't having no conversation about it. We ain't here for that, and it ain't nothing personal." But women, they bring it out of you, or when they talking to each other, they just because I heard Nate asking him the questions, and I was like, "Well, I could see. I ain't never asked him that, so of course I wouldn't know that because we don't talk like that if we men." But it was just an interesting observation, and that's the result of him being on the show.
Interesting. Do you have anyone that you go out with on the regular right now, Lou?
I don't go out
like on a
regular.
friendship
If I'm going
level, like
somewhere,
just in general. And it's a two-part question: do you have it, and do you miss it? If not,
hmm.
I think it's one of those things you don't know. You don't know you missing until you experience it again.
Yeah,
Like,
like
when you,
I don't really go out like that here because I mean, if I'm going to grab food, it's usually dolo. If I'm doing something that's like content or media oriented, like where I feel like AB will get something from it, either he'll send me an invite or I send him an invite. But it's up in the air. Both of us make it there, but not on the regular. Like I got my homeboy Derb. I'll send him stuff that I feel like he may be interested in. We'll meet there usually. He was at the other event that I went to, but it just so happened that I was going and he knew about it, and we decided to link up there when we got there. But no, I don't usually hit nobody up when I just hit the road.
do you feel like you're missing anything because of that? Like any kind of companionship, or do you feel like you get that from recording and all that stuff?
Not really. Yeah, possibly. I wouldn't say 100% no to it because it is cool to go out and kick it and have some of your people in it. But at the same time, I'm like you. I'll go out by myself and just it'd be cool. So it's 50-50. Sometimes, yeah, maybe, but a lot of times, no, not really. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Interesting.
And too, like the people that I know that I could hit up, like I just feel like if I'm going to a Belly Gang concert, I can't hit nobody up. I don't really
literally nobody in the world, nobody.
You know what I'm saying? But also too, I like to hit like I like plays. I go to a play. I don't want to lead no chick on to make her think this is courting her. Like maybe on a friendship thing, like you said, Rich. If that's what I'm on with her, but yeah, I'd rather just go by myself and go through all
watch
that.
Out, man, because them hugs start getting too long, man. You gotta be very clear about the stance.
I don't want no confusion.
You gotta be very clear about the stance.
I'm giving them that.
All right, my girl.
All right, my nigga. Be cool, man. It was a good time, man. Catch you next time.
But the funny thing is, though, when I got here, like when I got to Connecticut, I really was like, okay, I have a lot of friends who are extroverts. Like Lou, I don't know if this is maybe due because you don't have any siblings, right? It's just you. Yeah. So like you are used to being independent. Rich, I'm not sure about your situation, but it seems like you are used to being independent from a young age. So for me, I'm always been around people. So but I have a lot of friends who are extroverts. So I'll always be like, when I first got here, I was like, all right. And Lou know my homeboy Willie. I'm like, what would he do?
Will.
So, hey,
I wish
Rich.
you could meet Willie, Rich. Like you got it. He a Cincinnati nigga. You have to meet this nigga.
He probably
You
know.
have
He
to meet him.
probably know.
Y'all probably do know each other.
Yeah,
Because
Willie
I think
know
he
damn
know.
everybody.
what's-
He know everybody.
Yeah. You definitely probably know this. This nigga
What's
is
up- what's
he's
up with Willie?
hilarious, bro.
He is
He
a
one of the funniest niggas.
101.
He 101. He one of the funniest nigga I ever met. And so
I
it's
think
a
you might
funny
have told
thing.
me
Look,
about him a little bit.
it's a funny thing because like Nick, the only person that talked to me Nick, the only person be like, man, shut your dumb ass up, or like that goofy ass take or some shit. Nick is the only person in the world that talked to me like that. But he talked to his friends like that. I've hung out with him and his friend. I was just able to sit back and watch them. It's hilarious, bro. It's some of the funniest shit that you ever see because they don't let up on each other. They consistently going at each other and talking to each other. Like it may be a one door moment, then they right back on each other ass. Pause. It's insane, but you can tell they fuck with each other too.
Yeah.
It's the
Those are
craziest
the
shit
best
I've
ones.
ever seen. It's the craziest shit I've ever
Those are
seen.
the best
So
ones.
in turn, when Nick be like, man, shut your dumb ass up to me. Like usually people don't talk or say to me like that, but I understand that's how he get down with his people. So
Did you learn that after you already knew that's how he was? Or would you have taken that a different way had you not?
I don't do that off. Yeah, I don't do that off
do it
rip.
like that. It was a point. Like I said, we hang out, and he not like we friends for real. So
I got comfortable to the point where I know it ain't no issue.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Nigga, second time he said such a dumb ass something. Hold on, bro.
Because I think there was an episode of Is the Mic Still On? Y'all brought that up, and I was wondering. I was like, it's more of like I can understand, like people understand my energy, and I think that's the same thing that y'all were talking about earlier, like how people will approach you and you end up in random conversations. I feel like people can understand a certain energy. It's like I can engage with this person and know that this person is not going to, or it means no ill intent. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know this person holistically or through and through, but I get that vibe from them. And for me, that's how like I am with my friends. That's how I'm friends with Willie. But Willie's a unique character because he's very outgoing, and he's not an only child either. Like he comes from a big family, but he's a very outgoing dude. And I was asking myself when I got here, I was like, what would he do? So, bro, that first 6 months. I was going because on the East Coast, the best thing about the East Coast, and this is the reason why I know no one
all
really
the
leaves.
cities connected for real,
bro. They connected. It's the only place in
train right away.
There's the only place in the country where you can get to 4 major cities in less than 6 hours. We talking about DC, New York, Boston, and Philly. You can get them all less than 6 hours by train, not even by car, by just train. Mm-hmm. So I was taking the train because where I'm staying at in Connecticut, it's only about a 2-hour train ride in New York. I was going to New York heavy right after work, get on the train because the first train leaves at like 5:30 in the morning. Last train comes in at 11, sometimes 1 a.m. at night. So I could be in there the whole day. And I was meeting up with so many biddies, just trying to get the lay of the land, Rich. It was all research purposes. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to do that because like what Lou was trying to pretend like is that he could talk to anybody or he could do anything. But I wanted to work on that moment where you can like just approach somebody at the bar or just talk, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, how do I get over this fear of communicating alone? You know what I'm saying? That's something that I had coming here because it's like I really don't know anyone and I have to introduce myself to anyone. I can't go off the of previous knowledge of like, oh, I knew Nick from this point of his life and I know he's a good guy. They don't know me from a can of paint. So I had to work on that. And it's not just for like socially, but it's also professionally. Like you need to know how to talk to people because nobody wants to be around in a professional setting, an awkward ass nigga standing in the corner. Like that's the weirdest nigga in the world. So you need to be able to at least be able to have superficial, like, how's the weather? Or like, did you watch that game? Or are you watching Game of Thrones? That goofy ass shit, that water cooler talk. You got to be able to know how to do that and then some a little bit for you to move up because you could be as great as you are on your job, but if you can't talk, niggas ain't gonna know shit you doing.
They gonna think you weird, like you said. They gonna think you weird.
Facts. It's funny because I don't know if y'all ever get ads on social media sometimes, like the little random like stop small talk. Instead of saying this, say this. Like I don't know if y'all ever seen that or anything. Those little ads come up. it reminded me of what you just said, and I wanna know, Nick, was this your get it out the mud moment? Like going somewhere where you knew nobody and being in this spot 3 years later where it seems like you're in a pretty good space. Like you ended up meeting people, kind of knowing how to navigate things of that nature. Do you feel like that was your moment? Like that's my
Yeah, yeah, it was. It was something that I gradually got better at. And again, to quote another Jay-Z line, it was like, "Put me anywhere on God's green earth, I'll triple my worth." That kind of thing
Mhm.
was like a motivating factor of like, if you put me in this random ass city in Connecticut, can I still be not only myself, but can I excel as myself? That was the real secondary question. It was like, can I be myself? Yeah, I kind of figured out in Atlanta, but can I excel as myself? It's like I have to go into a bigger, quote unquote, big boy room and see what I can do. And I'm able to hang. I just got to add the talent with the skill, you know? So that was the thing. It's like, I felt like I was talented, but I didn't really feel like I was skillful. And I feel like to be a functioning, responsible adult, to be a functioning, responsible black man in America, I feel like you have to be talented and skillful.
let me circle it back a little bit. So moving from Cincinnati to Atlanta, moving from Atlanta to Connecticut, it's not just you that's impacted by that. Like you have to do what's best for you, but it's also you got family, you got friends. Even though you have friends come with you, you still got other friends. I'm sure that stayed back. I'm sure you got family that stayed back. Even more so when you move to Connecticut, because the friends that you did have in down in Atlanta, they gone. Like you said, you went solo. Maybe even relationships of some sort, situationships, whatever the case may be. Sometimes moving can be the best thing for you when it comes to that. Like, hey, the
Real
distance
talk.
doing the job for us.
Real
But
talk.
but when you met left initially, how was your reaction from your family or from those other people that you love? That damn man, you really leaving? Like, do you feel like those relationships? Well, family is one thing, but do you feel like you kept the same relationships going even with the distance? Did it separate people from I'm really close to you versus all right, you just an associate? Or how did it mess with you mentally as far as like just not having that comfort zone, not having those people that have been around the whole time and trying to figure out like what was it like from that sense where it's not, hey, I'm doing what's best for me, but I'm sacrificing a lot to get here.
I'll answer that last part first because when I moved here with one of my homegirls, Jazz, and she stayed with me for about like a week. But then she
Everybody
left
got
because I
friends today.
this one is my homie though. But
Mine too. Yeah.
but she actually looked good, so that shows how much we're actually friends. But no, it's no, she stayed with me for a week, and when she left, that was the first time that I ever felt that alone since I went to like camp as a kid, where you know it was just you and like away from your parents, and it was weird because I was looking for that feeling because it was not to say that I was happy in it, but it was just a feeling of like, okay, get used to feeling like this because it's gonna be 3 years plus, like potentially 3 years, if not longer, that you're gonna be in a situation where it's just you.
Mm.
And when I was thinking about that again, that first year and a half, first 2 years, it was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. You know how you're just going through life and you're the main character of your own movie. You know, so everything is around you. Everybody's a supporting actor to that. But then you realize as you get older or as life is happening around you, family is going through the same thing too. Like once you're away from them, life don't stop. And I realized that because I had very young nieces, and I'm very, involved with my family because I come from a small family. And every time I went back home, it was only like 3 times a year. One time in the summer and twice in the fall, winter for the holidays. And they getting taller, they're changing, they're getting into different activities. I'm every time I come back, it's catching up. It's like a time machine is going
Mhm.
on, and I'm like, especially when you're talking about children, like they grow up quick before you know it. And at first I was kind of cool with that because I'm on my own journey. I feel like I'm still young and I'm, trying to get it. But then I realized like I'm missing recitals. I'm missing family dinners. I'm missing birthdays. I'm missing things where like when you looking through the photo albums, it's like, damn, I wasn't in none of this shit. And I'm their
Mhm.
uncle. You know what I'm saying? And that was just from their standpoint. But like I'm even talking about from a parental standpoint where imagine you only see your mom 3 times a year physically. You
We talked
times
about that on here.
you times that by like 5 or
How
whatever.
much longer she got to live? Like you think about that. Like you telling me I only got like 20 more times to see my mom? You know what I'm
And
saying? Like if you really do the math on it, it's crazy.
and then when you call her or talk to her, my mom was very transparent. She's like, "Look, nigga, I'm slowing down." You know what I'm saying? And my mom is a very active woman. She, as much as she is active, she knows she's slowing down. She just walked a 5K like a couple weeks ago, but she says like, "I know my body. I know myself. Like I'm slowing down. I'm taking more naps than I ever did." And it's kind of like she's
How old
telling
is
me
your
this.
mom?
She's about 62 now.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
same age as my mom. I
yeah.
tell you, and I ain't mean to cut you off, but it triggered something in me when you said that in the sense of, and I want to ask you when I get done with this, when you go back and you see that, like moms ain't even got to tell you, like you see it, and you're like, she is, damn, like that mom moving a little different than how she usually you. Like you in your mind, since you don't see her every day, you still thinking that she's younger than she is. But then when you see her like up to date, it's like, damn, I can tell she's getting a little older. I can tell my nephew is getting a little taller. And like the last family outing, I wasn't at because I don't come in town that often. Has that ever, and this question is for both of y'all, because I know it happens to me when I go back to Nashville now, it's almost made me want to go back. Like, yeah, I got dreams that I want to chase. I have things that I want to do. And I'm going to continue to pursue those things. But at the same time, every time I go home, I'm looking at my people like what you just said, and I'm like, damn, I'm missing all of this.
I it
Like
right
I'm
before.
missing all of this, and I'm out here on my dolo trying to get it out of the mud, shit like what you're saying, nigga. But even taking it from family with friends, like you're seeing like your people get older, and then they tell you like, I'm a little bit older than y'all. They're like, man, you hear about such and such and what happened to him, and all of these things are happening now. It's like, damn, I want to be around this in the sense of I don't want to miss my people move on and I'm not there. Do y'all feel like that too?
Yeah, I was hit with that heavily over this past Christmas. I walked and it was after I smoked a blunt, so it may have been like a random reflection. But I walked into my because I stayed with my sister when I come into town. I walked into her kitchen. All my family was in the living room, just kicking it, chilling, and I was just looking, and it was weird. It was super weird. I felt like damn, do I belong to this family? Like I don't feel as engaged or as pivotal. And these are my siblings, and these are my nieces who hit me up, all the time. And everybody always says, "Oh, we miss you" and all this other stuff. And I miss them too. But it just feels like I'm detached because like I'm
Like
on my
life
own.
goes on.
I'm on my
Yeah,
own
without
hero's
you.
journey. Yeah. And I'm just like, and it was something that I never felt before. Because usually I'm just,
I
it's
felt that
family. If
before.
you feel like if you around family, you around family. That's the most comfortable you're ever really gonna be. But I felt like I was a stranger in that damn
Like you the
house.
outsider. That's how I feel. Yeah, I 1,000,000% felt that. Like, of course, everybody's showing you love and oh, I ain't seeing you in this and all of the things, but you still looking back and you're like, damn, I'm the outsider. I'm the uncle that used to come when I was young. You be like, man, I ain't seen this little like, nigga, I don't know you, nigga. Like, fuck is you?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm having to ask my little cousins, like, you remember me? You remember my name and shit like that. And it's like, damn, I
It's
want,
crazy.
yeah, that's it. Like, it's a thing that fucks with you.
Yeah, it was, bro. Exactly, bro. I was like, I'm turning into the nigga that I made fun of back in the day.
When I
Like,
was little,
yeah,
exactly.
It kind of feels like, I know exactly what that feeling's like because even being gone, and people always tell me, man, you work in Cleveland, but you live in Cincinnati. Every time I look up, you back home or whatever the case is. I think part of it's because of that. It takes a while to, you don't want to miss out. Just like anything else, you don't want to miss out on all the important stuff, all the big stuff. It's not even socially; it's the family functions. Like I get mad when I find out about something that nobody told me about. Like what? I'd have pulled up. Like you don't live here. Like I don't care. Like tell me. Like let me tell you no. Like, you know what I mean? Like if there's something going on, I'm good about that. Like anybody, my boys, my friends, anybody, if you got something going on, especially if it's celebrating you, I'm gonna pull up because those are the moments that life are worth. That's what makes it. That's what makes being away worthwhile when I can still come back for that kind of stuff. You know, when I think about the mundane day-to-day stuff, I get that. It's more so about being intentional about making sure you're home for the important things. Because Monday, realistically, Sunday through Saturday, it ain't like I'm gonna be over mom's every single day. You probably do that when she gets older, but I feel that. But even if I did move back, it's not like I'm seeing her all the time. It's the mental part of the accessibility. If something did happen, I am right here. You get what I'm saying? And I'm gonna pull up on you when I am here, maybe a few times a week. But knowing that, having the comfort of knowing that you're right there is one thing. That's part of the reason when I had the opportunity to move to Cleveland, it was 2 cities. This role, they say you can move to Cleveland, you can move to Phoenix. You know how hard it was to say no to Phoenix? Like, it was just hard to, like, damn, do I want to make that first move that far away to where some shit happened, I got to get on a plane versus just getting on the road for 3 hours, 3.5 hours and making something shake. It's interesting because it's a sacrifice. Like, I would have much rather been out there in the Southwest. But I also feel it.
Brain,
go ahead.
It's crazy that your brain went there first, though. Like, we do that to ourselves, and I think you immediately thought about worst case scenario, I'm 3 hours away from home, versus I really want to live in Phoenix. I really would like to see what it's like out there. I would really want to go on that journey and be like down there where the weather's good all the fucking time. Like, no telling what you'll run into. I ain't got to deal with shitty ass Cleveland weather. But that ain't what you reverted back to. But worst case scenario, it's interesting that we make decisions, a lot of decisions based off that.
Well, that's because
scenario.
Well, I always say, like, if you can live with your worst case scenario, you probably made a good decision.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the opposite of what you're saying when you mention how you had to get it out the mud, Nick. Like, you had to go on this hero journey, this quest, this odyssey of some sort to kind of find yourself or hit this milestone for yourself that, you know, kind of tells you made it to a certain level. Where me, I don't want to say I was afraid to, but I didn't put myself first in that sense.
But you were,
and I wonder how much of that. Go ahead.
But I'm sorry to cut you off because I know you were going to say, like, you wonder how much of that weighed the decision on things. But I look at it as, like you mentioned early on, we were both at 2 different parts of our lives when we did these things.
Fair
you know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, I've done
What makes you say that though? When you talking about when you moved to Connecticut?
Well, I'm saying I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm talking about when you moved to Connecticut. Is that what you're talking about?
When I moved from Cincy to Atlanta, from Atlanta to Connecticut, it was all in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
okay,
so
you're saying you were a little bit older than you. That's it.
Yeah, I was in a different phase.
Y'all are in similar phases of y'all.
No, I'm just saying, like, there was like I'm thinking about my parents' age, was a lot younger. And because I'm not married and I didn't have any kids, I'm like, okay, this is the best time for me to start doing shit like this. Because when I get older, and that's where I'm at kind of now that I'm 33, it's like what Rich is saying, I'm thinking about getting closer. I ain't saying I'm going back to Ohio or Cincinnati. I ain't saying all that shit. But I wanted to be close to a major city where I'm 1 flight away. That's less than 2 hours. Or like Rich is saying, when I went to, that was my thought of going to Atlanta. Like I was telling you earlier, like I wanted to go to San Diego originally after I graduated from high school, or even especially when I graduated from college. Like, I want to go to exactly where I wanted to be. But I was like, worst case scenario, that's a 5-hour flight to get there, not even on time, but just within a day. You know what I mean? Like, if something's going on and shit is shaking, by the time I get there, it's probably gonna be already over. And I spent my time traveling. So that's why I went to Atlanta, because I was like, it's only about 6.5, 7-hour drive, and it's just straight up the highway. I can get to there. I can get with you in the same part of the afternoon, relatively, or at least a part of the day where it's still light out, and we can see what makes shit shake. Now I'm in that position where, like, I wasn't thinking that heavily at that time now because I bounced around. Now I'm trying to get closer to home.
That's interesting. It's interesting in the sense because I think all 3 of us sitting here, we're talented in this space that we do, and probably opportunity could come from a place that's further away than we're thinking of. It could come from LA, it could come from New York. If it was something that y'all really wanted to do, would y'all still think that, man, I still got to be close to the, like, I at least got to be 3.5? Like, if somebody told y'all, hey, man, come to LA, there's this media thing I want you to do. I'm gonna make sure you're taken care of. I'm gonna make sure, like, you set up, it's nice pay, like what you say, Nick. You finna be Mr. Nigga. Like, you can't turn that down, right?
Nah, you can't. You gotta take advantage of that. You gotta see what that's about.
But it would have to be an extraordinary opportunity.
That's the deal.
But that's always, to me, that's always the case, though. That's always the case.
I was gonna say, see, that's what I think we kind of cheat with the answer, because I don't even think it's got to be extraordinary. It just has to be a better one, because that's what we do this for, in the sense of, like, let's say something does shake from it, and ain't nobody promising you that you gonna make $1 million if you move to LA, but somebody may present you with an opportunity as to where, hey, this might do a little bit better out here where you're doing that. And I know these people, and I got these connections, and I ain't guaranteeing you nothing, but you come out here for 6 months to a year, it's gonna be different. Like, if somebody approached y'all with that, like, how do y'all respond to
that? Man, that's a great question. You gotta go the same way I do anything else. You just kind of know what works for you and where you are in life. Like I said earlier, Cleveland was never ever on my list. Like, I never once. That's why they say you want to make God laugh telling your plans. I never plan on moving here, but the opportunity that presented itself was serviceable and good enough to where I'm like, I'm ready to take that move. I'm ready to make that change. It was weird, but it worked out. So I say all that to say, I think we just know. We know what's a good fit and what makes sense. Like, if somebody told me, hey, I got this opportunity for you in LA, and it sounds like some bullshit, then it's gonna be like, nah, bro, I'm cool.
Now let's say it's a good, let's kick the bullshit one out. Let's say it is a real opportunity, and it's dependent upon your dedication, your skill set, like you being talented. You're going.
I'm going. I'm absolutely 100%, because really you don't get many opportunities like that. Like, you don't have too many chances. I think most of your life is the journey for that. It's the finding a way to get to that table. You don't get there and then realize, oh, I made it, I'm cool. Now you want to keep going. I'm taking that opportunity, because we talk about it all the time with this space. I saw you repost something that Phil posted when we was in Vegas. Man, there is no finish line. Like, every opportunity leads to another opportunity. That's kind of how my brain just works. So it's not like I've ever sitting here and I'm saying I'm going to podcast for the next 40 years. I don't want that to be the case. Like, I want podcasting to be that led me to the next venture and the next opportunity. And that's just how I look at it. But you don't get those unless you take those chances and vet the system and be like, all right, then this LA shit look legit, or, but part of it is because it's in LA. Now, if you ask me that same question, Lou, perfect opportunity, but you in Albuquerque? I don't know, man. Like, why can't I do this at the crib?
I need a little bit more guarantees. Yeah, I need a little bit more guarantees.
That's where I was gonna get to. Right, where Rich was saying is, like, it ain't about, like, the easy spots. Because this is why I asked my friends a random question about, like, if you could be the king of any state but not the major states, what would it be? So it's no California, no Texas, no Florida, no New York. Yeah, I'm talking about Montana, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota. Like, if you could be guaranteed Mr. Nigga there, would you move there? And I'm talking about guaranteed. Like, you literally got the best house in the state. You got the best job, all that shit, all the cars you want. Like, but you in South Dakota, so it's like, you can't just have niggas pull up on you. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
Sorry, I ain't doing that. I don't think I can do that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What about you, Nick? What you would go? Well, actually, first let me answer the other question first, and then I'll ask you what.
Oh yeah, like, bro, if it makes sense,
if it's a great place, if it's a good place, you're saying. But if it's let's say it's Detroit. Well, that's close to y'all, ain't it?
I'm just saying, Detroit is a good spot. What you mean?
Yeah.
I would move to Detroit tomorrow.
I would live. I definitely would live in Detroit. What about East Coast? You already?
I would say like Rhode Island or Delaware. You know what I'm saying? Like, could you be Mr. Nigga in Providence? You know what I'm saying? Like, could you be Mr. Nigga in
some work up in Providence, man? It might need to be taken care of.
In Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine is basically Canada. You know what I'm saying?
They got Maine has the lowest amount of black people in the United States. Like, the least black people live in Maine.
Exactly. I heard the food busting though. That's what I'm saying. Like, could you be the king in Portland, Maine? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like they're and I ask these people or my friends and anyone else these questions because it's like you don't really know what you're prepared for until someone asks you or until someone presents something to you. And I always try to ask myself random life things or scenarios and like how would I react? How would I go about it? Because eventually you're gonna get hit with that. Everybody gets hit with that at least once or twice, maybe even 3 times in their life, where like you hit with a situation or opportunity that you could never have thought yourself to be in, and it's like, okay, well then how do I get out of this, or how do I capitalize off of this, or like you know what I'm saying, like what are you gonna say when someone presents you with the best gig of your life? Like how are you gonna maneuver that? How are you gonna convince them that you are right for that job? It's just or that opportunity, like. Again, Lou, that's why I went to did my research in New York. I was with the biddies. I had to I had to think on my feet. You know what I'm saying? It's not an
and
easy
that's the
thing.
place to do it too, though. Like even though we've been in Atlanta, and Atlanta's like it's a hell of a place. New York different in the sense of like, bro, I'm not giving you 2 minutes. I'm barely giving you 30 seconds, my nigga. If you ain't talking about like what the fuck do you got going on? Why like they so like on a mission oriented. I never forget I was dating a chick and we went to one of the pizza spots, nigga, on the corner in New York. And you know how they the dollar slices. So they getting people in, having people out. Like it's a line behind us, it's people in front of us, and she want to ask questions. Well, what about this slice? Well, how long has
New
this
York
been?
don't do
Bro,
that.
dude was like, hey man, next, cause like and it's funny that anywhere else that would be rude. But I totally got what he was saying in that moment in New York, because I was like, hey, babe, like, it's people behind us. She was like, well, I want to know. And it, like, I was like, none of that don't matter. You should have read the menu. Like, I'm sorry. So it's interesting that New York is a place, like you said, or the best place I feel like to get that off, Nick, because you got to be on your feet like all the time, regardless of what you're dealing with. You need to be like bums going to come up to you. And you got to be on your feet.
The Black Israelites, they out here.
Everybody, it's a little bit of everything.
They gonna
bro.
say something to you.
That shit like GTA. It's like GTA for real. Like you for real gonna be like, nah, god damn, nigga, shitting in the middle of the street. Like,
bruh,
like
I seen all kinds. I seen a nigga smoke crack on the train. Like, and I'm like, niggas doing crack in 2025? Like, bro,
It's a whole different life they living.
Bro, I was like, I just watched New Jack City. That was a minute ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was just, it was just things. I'm like, bro, this shit real. Like this, like that. Again, these are, and I was on a date when I seen that. You know what I'm saying? She was upset. She was ready to. She was actually ready to.
Did you break up with her after you seen her hitting the crack pipe? Or did you leave her there? Or was it hey, want to tell us it was his date the one that was on the crack?
Hey, if that happened to me, bro, that's a new low for me. I was in New York. I wasn't in Hoboken.
I'm gonna say, nigga, what app was you on? God damn.
I stayed.
I don't even know what it take for me to go on another date if that shit happened. Motherfucker,
it was,
crack pipe. What the fuck?
It was only I've only trafficked in Manhattan and Brooklyn when it came to the biddies. That was the only one that really was worth it.
I would be more offended that she felt comfortable. Like not even that she smoked it, but she felt comfortable doing it in front of me. Like I would have had my whole shit would have been fucked up.
Because then you realize like
like you can hit crack in front of me. Like what?
That's not even a question for me, Lou. It'll be more of like, damn, I fell in love with a crackhead. I'm the biggest simp in the world.
That sounds like one of them Quan books. I forget that nigga that be having them crazy ass names. Like the pastor eats pussy too. Them y'all know what book Quan Mills. Yeah, man. Exactly that's one of his titles, man. I fell in love with a crackhead. That's some crazy shit.
Oh my god, boy.
But yeah, going back to that, I remember working a retail job. This is when I was much younger. But just for reference, working a retail job, little bullshit job, and I could have got a promotion to be the manager of a store in Lexington. And Lexington's about an hour 15. And I was sitting there for a second. I was like, damn, like it's a promotion. But I thought about like, I'm not moving to fucking Lexington. And it's too far to like where you want to do it every day. But it's also not a city that you're just moving to. If I'm moving to a city in Kentucky, it'd be Louisville. I wouldn't move to Lexington. So it's one of those things like, nah. So going back to the whole point of where you stand and where would I be, that plays a big role. Like I don't know if I could be I don't know if I could be Mr. Nigga in Kentucky unless I was in Louisville.
So just to wrap it up, and well, not wrap this up because I know we got more to talk about, but this point in general, y'all saying that if the opportunity was right, y'all would move further away from family, but ideally, we all want to be close enough to where if I'm doing this and I'm making decent money and figuring out I ain't Mr. Nigga, but I'm good, I want to be close to my family. However, if the opportunity presents itself as to where I can go be Mr. Nigga, then I'm willing to be further away from my people.
Yeah, because it's not just the Mr. Nigga title. It's more so I'm probably enjoying what I'm doing. That's the other big part of it. It's not even probably. I have to be enjoying what it is that I'm doing. I can't just be out here for the bag or whatever like that, unless the bag is providing for the family.
Yeah, I'm adding that in. It's something that you want to do. It's something that
I have to.
I
gotta. Yeah, I'm not doing it just because like that. That Lexington shit, I'd have done it just because it sounded good. All right, it seemed like it's a step up in life. Nah, it's got to be something very significant to where I'm like, all right, bet I'm fucking with this. So if somebody told me I need to move to, I don't even know. Yeah, a lot of stuff has to fall into place. Yeah,
Miami might could get me down there doing something I don't want to do though. Like, tell me come manage this. You come manage this warehouse for a couple $100 grand.
And Boca Raton,
I might be down there. Nigga, I ain't gonna hold you. Like
I was about to say they got to be paying you right because Miami expensive. But if you get a couple $100 grand,
you get a couple $100 grand, like maybe we gonna give you 180 a year, 200 a year to do this. Like, you got
Miami to do some bullshit I don't want to do because I could do it for a year or two and just dip.
Yeah, I can do that in Miami.
And I also feel that I can network my way into some other shit.
Facts.
Like, you know what I mean?
Making nice money. Like I ain't gonna do this long. Facts.
Yeah, for sure. Nick, what else, man? Like you brought on the topic of moving on. What else have you been learning from this? And what's going on with this next move? Like, is this something that's solidified? Is this something that you know is going to happen? You working on it? And how do you feel going into that third move versus,
Well, that's the thing about like the last part of like the conversation that I was thinking we could have to kind of make this full circle was like, you guys talked about it a lot in different ways. Like the next move is just a move. It's not the move. You know what I'm saying? So it's all. I'm at this point again in my life where I'm like, okay, this change is arising, and I see the opportunity. I feel it in my gut. Like, all right, it's time for you to make that next transition. How are you going to do that? How are you preparing yourself? Like, what have you learned in the time between you from when you arrived to now that you feel like you're ready to go? And I feel like that's where I do my deepest reflections. Like this is when usually people reflect a lot during like the holidays or their birthdays, but it's year round for me because I'm always thinking about what did I do yesterday that's going to help me today, that's going to push me forward tomorrow. And while I'm in a situation, a lot of people will say like, oh, you should probably try to stay. I realized that being here made me desensitized to what I thought success was, or like how you should go about doing it. Like I've really done almost a 180. I still want to be Mr. Nigga, but in my own way. Like I realized that we don't ask enough as people or as men, black men specifically, when it comes to the things we want and how we want it. And you only need one yes. You know what I'm saying? And you can apply that to anything. You can apply that to job interviews where like you applying to a bunch of jobs, you're gonna get a lot of no's, but you just need one yes. You know what I'm saying? Again, with the biddies, you can holler at a lot of biddies, they're gonna tell you no and not give you the number, but you just need one. If you get two, that's a great night. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so my thing is like when you think about certain things as success, you look at just the opportunity and not more so going off of what other people are saying is successful or what other people think is the goal. It's the goal that you set for yourself. So for me, where I'm at right now is preparing myself to potentially do another transition because I may be able to stay here, but right now I'm feeling like it's time for me to go. But I'm way better prepared because I've done this will be my third move now. So now I know how to move. I know how to prepare myself. Before then, I was worried sick about like, what if this don't go right? What if I don't do this? What if I don't meet it? It's like, bro, all that shit figure itself out once you get there. You just got to get there. You ever had a homeboy have a lick or a move where he be like, bro, you just gotta get here. You don't need to do shit. Like, don't, because you be like, nah, I gotta go do this.
Why are we still on the phone? Nigga?
Why
Like,
we
you already
still-
on your
bro,
way, bro.
if you're here, you'll understand everything. It's gonna be all right. Just pull up. And like that's kind of like the mindset that I have because I've gone through enough. And it's interesting because on the East Coast, a lot of people don't move like that. Like, Rich, what you did is reasonable because it's in the same state. A lot of people move from because they're so close, it kind of is the same state. They'll move from New York to New Jersey or New York to DC or New York to Philly, and they be like, okay, that's a whole different experience. But for us folks from the Midwest and the South, like that's just still the East Coast, nigga. You still in the same.
Yeah.
And when you start going to these cities, you like, yeah, it's different, but it's pretty much the same culture. I've gone to 3 different regions now. Midwest, grew up, was in the South, and then the East Coast. And now I feel like I can adapt to any situation. I know how to build community. So the only fear and worry that I have is like, okay, what's the next job that's pushing me forward? Because I can't keep doing parallel shit. I can't go backwards. I have to be going forward. So now my emphasis is more on like, okay, everything you've done, everything you've learned, how are you boosting yourself up? How are you marketing yourself? How are you presenting yourself? Because that next step is going to take you on that path of like, all right, I'm now 2 doors away from being Mr. Nigga.
Do you have any places in mind of like, is this, I know you want to advance and grow, but it also sounds like it's, hey, I'm ready to go anyway. I don't want to get too stagnant in the place I'm at. So do you have places or parts of the country that's like, hey, this is where I'm really eyeing?
I got to stay on the East Coast. So whether that's this far east or like, again, the
East Coast or Eastern time zone?
Eastern
like,
time
you
zone.
go back down south?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
that's what I'm saying. Eastern time zone. Like that's what I mean by East Coast. Sorry, but yeah, Eastern time zone because again, I just want to be close to family, relatively close to family, but also my passion, my philosophy on life, professionally, is to get paid to help Black people or to help underrepresented communities. So I bring up the Eastern time zone because there's a lot of the Black population is on the coast, port cities and on the coast. Middle America ain't really where we at. We there. There's always some Black person somewhere, but it's not a lot when outside of like the South, the Eastern time zone of the South, Eastern time zone of the East Coast, and some parts of the Midwest. So it's just like those are the regions that I'm really looking at going, and it's more likely I'll probably go back down south, but again, there's an opportunity up here too for me to possibly stay. So I'm just trying to figure out my options. More so, I'm working on, or I have worked on. I think something that's underrated is negotiating for what you want, and that's you could take this personally or professionally, but just knowing how to negotiate and set boundaries for what you want and what you want to deal with. Because as you get older as a professional in the workplace, you know what you're not trying to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And even if you don't
negotiate.
Yeah, and even if you don't know what you want, you should also keep a list of what you don't want, because that would also tell you where you're gonna go from that standpoint. So, yeah, that's the mindset that I'm in, and I just got into it because, again, I'm always trying to improve myself. So I'm always asking myself questions.
I don't mean to be presumptuous, but Lou moving back to Nashville. I don't know when, but he gonna go back.
I thought that was breaking news. I was like, damn, Lou, you ain't tell me that.
I don't know.
I'm telling y'all, man. I can tell. I have a feeling. I'm not saying it's gonna be like next year. I'm just saying I think at some point, like sooner rather than later, probably the next 5 years. So I can see that happening.
It would for my family, but 100% I would.
Yeah, 100%. Not because of I don't see it because you want to do it. Just
again, it ain't out of the question at all, just because of the experience that I have lately when I am there. But it would need to make sense. It would need to make a lot of sense because I still do enjoy being here.
I'm about to say, do you enjoy being in Atlanta? Is it still?
Yeah, absolutely. Like
okay,
that was the hardest thing for me to leave.
Yeah, like it's a thing. Like you said, I didn't want to jump in when you were saying it, Rich. The day-to-day stuff, the mundane stuff, your Kroger, your grocery. Yeah, that is primarily true. You're right. But in Atlanta, it's kind of different.
It's different, bro.
It's kind of different.
Let's talk about this.
Like it's like you be outside and you be like, wait, what? Like it's its own thing, bro. It's hard to explain. and you only understand it if you've lived here for like an extended period of time. Like people that visit think they know, but you really
you
don't
gotta
know,
live here.
bro.
You gotta
Like,
live.
So let me
you
cut in real quick.
My mind still be blown. Like today when I do stuff and I see shit, I be like, oh, it's just Atlanta.
Time out. Let me jump in real quick. Let me give you. So it's funny you said it because I literally today we record on Wednesday. Sunday I had this conversation. No bullshit. I visited Atlanta numerous times. I haven't been down probably since 2021, 2022, something like that. But I literally was telling someone, my man, Atlanta just don't seem like it for me. I don't see the hype. They don't have any beaches. Weed ain't legal. Like, there's no extra bonus or benefit to where I'll be like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go to Atlanta. I see other cities in there. But the way y'all talking, y'all making it sound like, nah, bro, you got it.
The extra bonus is the black people on a day-to-day basis. Like it's hard to explain, but like it's different, especially like a lot of people live on the outskirts. Even there, you can kind of see it too. But like I'm from Nashville. When I go back, Rich, you see how Nashville was. It ain't no poo-putt city. Like Nashville, it get down now. It wasn't like that when I left, but people call Nashville a white Atlanta. And when I'm in Nashville, I see what they're saying, because in Nashville, white folk can go out and have a good time anywhere. Like everything's catered to them. It's like that in Atlanta, but for black folks. And when you live here, you see that. It's like the business is like a little regular random business that you go to, or little lounge or your little dive bar. It's usually white folk, but in Atlanta, it's black folks. And it's so like, before you get here, it's so like shocking to see. But when you get here, you start expecting it. And then like, once you don't see, like you be surprised to walk in white establishments down here, bro. Like what is all these white folks doing here?
Yeah, if
like,
I don't see at least 6 black people in the room, I'm like, I'm in the wrong room.
Facts.
Damn.
And I feel like Atlanta slick the only place like that, but you wouldn't know that visiting because you're usually going to the popular touristy stuff. But it's like that everywhere in Atlanta.
It's
crazy.
It fucked me up coming to Connecticut from Atlanta, because it was like, granted, I knew I was moving to a smaller city, but it was like, even food spots, it's like in Atlanta, you guaranteed like 4 out of 5 food spots gonna hit, and they gonna be busting. Fuck around, gonna be your favorite spot. You come up here, bro, it's only 4 to 5 dinner in the state. So like you cooking that, I'm cooking that home chef Boyardee in it, because I'm like, what shit I'm making got more soul and flavor than that whole slab you about to get. You know what I'm saying? At the quote unquote rib shack they got. So it's just like, it spoils you in a certain way, but it's also because it's a nigga city, bro. It's like, how long can you deal with niggas? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that shit, like, as much as you
my cousin came to visit me from Nashville. She was like, "You don't get tired of all these black folks?"
That shit sounds crazy to say out loud.
It do sound crazy, but
this is the shit. Those are conversations that I love having with amongst ourselves, amongst black people, because it's like, all right, we don't got to worry about racism. But there is a particular thing about being around black people where you just get sick of it. You just like, all right, need to go elsewhere. I'm done with you.
You ain't sick of being around all these niggas is crazy, but I feel it. What's even worse is I understand the question.
You understand
the question.
That's what was crazy about it, because I knew exactly what she meant. But it was still fucked up.
It's fucked up because you don't think about this with no other. You may think about this with some other race.
Maybe it's your family, so they gonna be like unfiltered. Like she like, you don't get tired of being around. She's like, every way to win, it's all black people. That's the appeal of this.
That's the appeal, bro. You just get tired of it, bro.
I don't know. See, I don't think I could. I can't say I don't think I could live there, but I just never saw it as a. For it to be a major city, I never had it on the list of
and people don't, and I think it's because of how many black people are there.
Yes,
like Atlanta,
it just seems crowded.
It has to be
too much, man.
See, look, no one says that about New York.
People think it's extra, yeah, right. New York way more crowded than Atlanta.
DC,
I don't want to move to New York though. You know what I mean? That's one of my things. Okay. I never want to move to New York. And Houston, like I never. You could.
I could live New York or New Jersey. Like 3. No. I'm saying not the whole. This is. We keep saying Mr. Nigga. This is like if I could do it 3 months out of a year, I could live. Like I live there in the summertime.
You want the ghost? You want the ghost penthouse?
Yeah, that right there.
You want the New York?
I could live in New York if it was that. Yeah, if I was up, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I could be up there from May to August, like then yeah, cool.
That's a great city to be. That's a great city to be up in.
What?
That's
It's
a great
one of the
city.
best cities to be up
The
in.
best
but,
city probably in the world to be up in.
But honestly,
Yeah.
if
What,
I
LA?
could, there's other cities that I'm like it's randomly in the cut. That's nice. Like Philly, being the king of Philly is different.
Let
Being
me ask
the
y'all.
king of Houston, Lou. Hey, that's Zamunda to most of us, boy.
Miami, all of that.
Listen, man.
Let me ask you this real quick, and as we get ready to kind of put a bow on the conversation, is being up in Atlanta how much different is being up in Atlanta than being like regular in Atlanta? Because it sounds like there's so many there's so many shared experiences, and it doesn't seem like it feels like LA in the sense of in Atlanta. I think you can see prominent, notable people, and it not be a big deal.
Yes, that's 100%.
So
true.
I feel like it takes away some of the esteem, but also being up is being up. So I'll let it hear that from y'all as far as like the difference between that.
So the thing about Atlanta, and everyone acts like they up. Like this is a city where everyone act like they next up, got it now, rich. Like you walking through the mall and you see like, well, it's very interesting how everybody presents themselves here. They call it Black Hollywood for a reason. Like it's very like it's very, very rare until you start living here for a long time and start going to other places that ain't the popular places that you see regular like people. But the popular places, and if you go into Onyx and Magic City and all these places that people have heard of, everybody in there gonna be trying to act like they up. Everybody in there trying to throw bands. Everybody in there got ice on. Like Atlanta, one of those cities where people got to feel like it's fake it till you make it. Like that's the only way you're gonna get ahead. But you do start to learn stuff as you live down here, where you avoid those type of places. You know the little cool bar, you know the little cool spot, the lounge to hang out there where people ain't own that. But in general, Atlanta's like people faking it till they making it. So being up down here is probably one of the premier places in the world to be up at, because everybody acting like they up. So being able to flex for real on people goes a long way and go get you a lot of motion.
Is it a good dating city?
Hell no.
Nah, it's not.
Well, for us,
there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a good.
I never hear about anybody saying I go to Atlanta to. I've heard of niggas saying I'm getting a Georgia girl, but not Atlanta specifically. Obviously, because the first thing I think of is, just to keep it real, I know there's a lot more women for us, than most of the major cities.
Down here in the A, they coming up to you. If you ain't snaggletooth, no, like if you ain't
so
just terrible.
Why is that not an ideal situation? Is there so many bad ones that you like? Why the fuck would I seriously date y'all? I could just fuck with all y'all.
There's that, but you could do that in any city. That's a rationale that travels.
But it sounds like Atlanta got all like I've been to Atlanta plenty of times. Atlanta got them.
Well, the reason why I was gonna say, like, first of all, like, there's really no city outside unless you go into like some small town city that's like dating appropriate in 2026. Like, you kind of like it's just like as much as the internet and
but it
social
is
media,
different down here.
Yeah, as much as the internet and social media has helped us, it's kind of hurt us in certain ways when it comes to uniqueness. But in Atlanta, you are definitely going to have, as a man looking for a woman, you're going to have an easier time. Like the wheels is greased here, whereas like Lou said, they'll either approach you or you can approach them on simple.
Long as you're not Forrest Gump, long as
you could just talk.
Forrest Gump, my nigga, long as you ain't one of them niggas, then bro, you ought to be able to do like because
said radio.
As long as you ain't radioing it out here, like you gonna be able to. You may have to find your people. Like you might have to find where you successful at, but it's something for you gonna be able to do some damage.
Once you find that, it's an abundance.
Once you find your pocket,
it's an abundance, bro. Real talk. Now, Lou is right though, bro.
You literally gotta be ready. Though. You think I'm joking? Like down here,
you're not joking. That's why I'm laughing like this. I know you dead ass serious.
Because again, there's a lot more women there. The demographics, as far as like from hetero to homosexual, yeah, exactly. Yep. So like it's like it's like 1 to 10. And the odds, and we do baseball numbers. We get about 3-4 of them, bro. That's for every 10.
Good day.
Don't let them start talking to you and they realize like, oh, he not gay, he not slow. Like, oh shit, like,
bro,
like
the bar is
we reined in.
The
like
bar is low, bro. If you in
Atlanta, clean up.
If you're in Atlanta, and like single black man has a job, has his own spot, has his own car, no kids, you are a somebody's mama is looking for you for their daughter right now.
Facts.
Cause like
that's
rare.
The mama might be looking for you too. If we being for real,
I'm gonna get at the mama too for real shit.
Yeah.
The way these mamas built nowadays, Lou, bro, even the grandma, you have to go to the grandma.
Hey, for real, man. But again, dating down here is like that. But to the point that we both made, it also makes it difficult. Why I say it's hard, because now since the pool is so scarce, like everybody trying to be 1,000,000% serious. Like a chick find like a you or me or a Nick, and they feel like you got a good head on your shoulders. You know how to talk and present yourself or whatever. Maybe you seem interesting. It ain't no casual shit. They ain't trying to be casual, bro. They ain't trying
they're trying to lock you down.
Yeah. They just like, oh shit, nigga, you rare air down here. Like, nah, like I want to see you tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Like when we meeting again, like, nah, shout it.
Yeah. If she's over 27, that's what she's on. That's the time she on.
Interesting. Atlanta, all right, man. I'll be down there here in a couple months, man. I'll be down and
coming down
a couple corners,
May, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. I got to figure out what's going on with Crazy Convo, but yeah, coming down in May and
the 23rd. They're doing it on the 23rd.
May 23rd.
That's Memorial weekend.
Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. That's when
let me verify. But
that's Jazz Fest weekend, ain't it?
Nah, Jazz Fest weekend is gonna be in June. Usually June.
I think
July.
it's not Memorial Day. You talking about down here in the
in the later? Yeah, I thought Memorial weekend was always Jazz Fest.
Oh, Rich talking about something different. Yeah, they have
Cincinnati. I'm talking about Jazz Fest, Cincinnati Jazz Fest.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they have an annual Jazz Fest down here Memorial Day weekend. I can't think who's gonna be there this year. I want to. Oh, don't give me the line because
that's a good weekend though. Jazz Fest.
Yeah, listen to me, boy.
Literally, the whole city come and it's outside free, so you're dealing with all kinds of demographics. The whole city come out, boy.
That's crazy. Hold on, man. All right, man. Let me go ahead and make these plans.
Hey, if that's the deal, then Rich, we going to Jazz Fest when you come down here because that's.
Oh yeah, we make this. Hey, we can make this.
If you come that weekend, with Crazy Convos, I think AB said the 20, whatever date I just said that date, but I think and they got a new venue too. So that's
normally on Saturdays, right?
Yeah, normally on Saturdays.
Yeah, so I'm looking it up right now. The 23rd falls on a Saturday. So
yeah, I think he said the 23rd. Yeah, I think he said the 23rd. So we definitely have to hit that.
All right. With that being said, man, Nick, pleasure having you. Anything else, fellas, before we get out of here?
Nah, I think we covered it, man. That was a great episode, Nick. Appreciate you stopping through.
I always like talking to y'all. Yeah.
Just I don't think people get to see this side of Nick a lot, man. So
that's what you said last time. I never understood.
They don't.
I don't realize.
Like people so used to like you gotta think you just doing movie reviews and sports reviews. Like people don't really get to hear you talk about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I told the last time you were here, I remember telling Lou, I was like, man, tell Nick that's the best. That's the best. Like I won't say the best because that's not the right word. That's the most enjoyable podcasting I heard from him. And not saying that what you do is just more so because you peel back some layers. Like instead of using other things as the content, you use yourself as the content. And I learned about you, and you was dropping jewels. I'm like, damn, I had my friends hit me up like, yo, I don't know who y'all had on the pod today, but he's spitting. And I'm like, yeah, man, this nigga's cooking. So I always enjoy these, man. I'm looking forward to once you figure out that move. I can't wait for you to come back on and have a part 2. And of course, you're welcome anytime to talk about whatever.
I'll definitely keep y'all updated. From the places that I've been, looking at, I could be close to all the homies, family and friends. So I'll keep y'all updated. Yeah,
no doubt, man. Well, we appreciate y'all, bookworms. This is book 2, chapter 62. We got our guy Nick. will be out. Next week, we got another guest. We'll talk about that more next week. But until then, let's make sure we get better this week. We out.
Peace.
Peace.